the thing about the NFC, it's wide open. But the other three teams that I think Niner fans always looked at as like the threats are Philly, Seattle, and Detroit. I mean, at least right now, all three of those teams have really freaking good offensive lines, and they have 2 first-round picks this year. So I don't know. I feel like they're coming, man. And the Niners, like, how do they get better this offseason from where they're at right now? I feel like they're almost done. Now they could always get another Brock Purdy late in the draft who like makes an incredible, surprising impact as a rookie. But saving that, what's the next impact move they make? Robbie Gould?
That's exactly that's my whole thing with them is I don't believe it does. You can spend everything you want and get Lamar Jackson. You can go get Patrick Mahomes. I could care less. You can get the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes.
You can't keep him upright. You can't keep him upright.
Exactly. It doesn't freaking matter. He's going to get hurt at some point because you cannot sustain the amount of contact that our quarterbacks take. It's just not.
Yeah. And the Niners are like, it's tough to find good offensive linemen, so we're just like, won't look. It's like, what are you talking about? That means you need to look harder. That means you need to make sure you find these guys. And your competitors, your rivals in your conference have done it. And they're coming, man. They're all improving. All of them. And they have stability at the quarterback position. The Niners are like, hey, maybe Sam Darnold could turn his entire career around with us. Like, yeah, maybe, but like, maybe that's a hope and a prayer.
I just couldn't believe Rashawn Ridgeway. He's our that defensive guy we just signed.
Hassan Ridgeway. Oh, yeah, no. He's gone.
Javon
Hargrave.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
That guy right there, superstar player. But I just feel it was a waste, man. Our defensive line with the rotational pieces, even though we lost a couple, they were beyond serviceable. Our defensive line wasn't the reason we lost that NFC championship game. They got beat down, man. They got beat down. When they're on the play, just smash mouth football nonstop. That's going to happen, man. They knew
he didn't do anything against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. The Niners didn't have any pass rush against Patrick Mahomes. Next time they face Patrick Mahomes, they're still not going to have the type of defense that can slow down that team if they ever reach the Super Bowl again. I mean, you really think the Eagles are tripping that they lost Javon Hargrave? They got 3D tackles, in waiting. They got a top 10 pick this year. I mean, they could replace Javon Hargrave easily with someone cheaper and 8 years younger. They're not tripping. Yeah.
And get production. And if it doesn't work, they got enough in the back pocket where they'll rotate him out with another player.
They drafted Jordan Davis with a top 15 pick last year. They got Milton Williams, who's really good and had 2 tackles against the Niners in the NFC Championship game. And they got the 10th pick in the draft this year. They could take another D lineman if they want to. And just because that's what they want, right? They want 8 guys.
Yep.
The Niners have 2.
I feel like Kyle's stuck with defense wins championships. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that. Patrick Mahomes showed you that it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
They don't have a great defense in Kansas City.
And it's not just that Patrick Mahomes is great. It's that in the fourth quarter, those refs will call these tiniest of holding calls on these. It's like, I'm sorry, they will not let a defense win a championship.
No.
In the fourth quarter, like Nick Bosa was trying to win that championship for the Niners, right? And he beat his guy and he got held on 3rd and 15 and they didn't call it because defense doesn't win championships. They don't want it to. Sorry.
That's about outdated, and I don't think Kyle's caught up to that yet. And even so, I mean, you can look at Philly. They had a great defense. Patrick Mahomes still went and put 40-something. Shredded. Like they were nothing.
Like they weren't the greatest pass rush ever, right?
Yep.
0 sacks.
0.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
And that's because Andy Reid focuses on his O-line. His O-line.
And his offense.
When they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Tampa, I do believe it was, they lost that game, I believe.
Because O-line. One reason.
Yep.
One reason. O-line.
They rotated those 2 players. They did something because one got hurt. I don't remember the exact guys. One of them got hurt.
They were all they were missing both their offensive tackles and they couldn't compete in the game.
At all.
Since then, they have no weaknesses on their offensive line. Nope. Eagles have no weaknesses on their offensive lines. The Lions have no weaknesses on their offensive line. Niners have 2. Burford might become not. Burford was a weakness last year to the point where he couldn't play every snap. But maybe he'll like blossom into a good player like Aaron Banks or a solid player. But McKivitz, no. Weakness.
Something needs to happen with the training staff, coaching staff over there because, like we said, I think we discussed yesterday, we're top 1, 2 in injuries, on damn near every season. So what's going on? I mean, we play hard, but I mean, you look at other teams like Seattle. When Seattle was in their top peak, they were a violent team, super violent team when they were in their mix in their Super Bowl windows, and they didn't have players go down like we do. I mean,
Also, another thing, Vish Kumar has been pointing this out on Twitter a lot. Like dominant defenses. The Niners have had a top 5 defense 4 years in a row. Top 5. That's very few teams go for 5 years or 6 years because defense is the kind of thing where, like, if you have one weakness, it undoes everything. You got one bad cornerback, you got one bad D lineman. All of a sudden you're not dominant at all. And is this the year that the Niners come back to earth? Like, they just added Javon Hargrave at the same time, 2 high-priced 30-year-old D tackles. A more difficult schedule, a new D coordinator. This might be the year. What if Armstead has another down year? What if Hargrave plays like a 30-year-old? I don't know. Well, what if Lenore's still here? What if Lenore isn't good?
What happened to Aubrey Thomas? I mean, he was playing good, not last year, year before. He kind of finished off pretty good, I thought. And then this season, he's just.
What if Isaiah Oliver's no good?
Oh, man.
I don't know.
It's rough.
I don't know.
I think that no matter how great of a defense, Grant, we can have a defense that goes 3 and out. But if we don't have an offense that can sustain the field and give our defense a break, if we're going 3 and out along with them, at that point it becomes which team is conditioned the best on defense to sustain that amount of time on the field. And that's where the Niners come up short. They seem like they run out of gas in that fourth quarter. It's been going on for years. They slow down. They let a little bit more plays happen. They let the top get taken off quite a bit more. And it's like, I don't know if the D line is running out of gas, not applying the pressure, or is it the cornerbacks losing a step because they're tired from running all over the field all day?
I got to let you go, but before I do, I just want to go out with this thought. A lot of people say the Niners have the best roster in the league. And part of the reason they're so strong at so many positions is because they choose to go cheap at quarterback and offensive line. And if you make that choice, then you can definitely load up at running back and wide receiver and linebacker and safety and corner. But how many teams make that choice, and why would you? Why would you want to, of all the positions? I mean, I understand quarterback. Unless you have a great one, then there's no reason to spend $40 million on Derek Carr. But offensive line, that's where you go cheap? Are you kidding me? That would be the last place I would go cheap, honestly.
Facts.
Are you kidding me?
If you invested cheap, let's run our rookie quarterbacks. Brock and Trey will be substantially outstanding players. I believe that. If you can protect them, you have to protect them, and you have to use the running game that we have. Rotate them. Even if you want Christian McCaffrey on the field every play because he's a threat, don't give him the damn ball every time. Let Jordan Mason pound these guys to death. He's never fumbled the ball. He's just everything about him. Every time he touches that ball, it's positive. Put freaking Christian McCaffrey out there on the side. Let him run a slot. Let him be a receiver. Let's bring these other guys back. Like you said to your point earlier, and I'm going to let you go, Grant. Like you said about Juice. Put him in the backfield. Let him block for Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, and let's run this ball down their freaking throat. And then that'll set up Kyle's play action, but he doesn't. Christian.
Hey, also one more thing. That run game is never going to be dominant unless the right side you can run the right side too. Because right now they just run left.
Grant, nothing on offense will ever be consistent or dominant until that O-line shores up. It all starts in the trenches. You hear these players say it all the time. If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to the players. They are on the field playing the game. They are involved in this. They hear what is going on. Kyle don't want to listen, whatever. Anyway,
great call, man.
Thank you for taking my call, buddy. I'm super excited. You made my Saturday, man. That's 2 days in a row I got to talk to you, brother. I'm going to have a great day today, man.
Great, man.
Have a great one, Grant.
Peace.